It's time for Inside the Trenches with Super Bowl champion and national champion Marlon Favorite.
Baby. Ha. We feeling good on this hump day. That's right. Come on. Yeah, it's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite Wright. We here live. It's Wednesday, hump day. Hope y'all getting through it good. I hope y'all traveling home, enjoying yourselves on this beautiful evening. This day has been so beautiful, and this evening is gorgeous. You're listening to us now on ESPN New Orleans, 100.3 FM. And remember, you can check us out from 6 to 8 p.m. every day right here on ESPN New Orleans. We have a show for y'all today. I got two guests calling in. Preston from TigerBait.com. He's going to talk LSU spring ball. My main man, Mario Jerez, is going to join me later as well to talk Pels, baby. We still living our hoop dreams around here. But on this Wednesday, we are super excited for what's coming up in the world of sports. Now, this segment is brought to you guys by Montero Motors. That's 1512 North Causeway in Metairie, Louisiana. Y'all go over there, holler at my man Alberto. Tell him Big Fave sent you over there. Say you want the hot deals. And to get the hot deals, you have to hit the hot list. That's 94253. Excuse me, 94253. Text Big Fave, BIGFAV, to get those exclusive deals. So right after the dust settles, and the LSU Iowa game is over. I mean, this weekend we're getting ready for Iowa, Connecticut. There's a South Carolina and NC State game going on, so everything's just kind of gotten away from this game. But, of course, the media had a lot of coverage on this game. What better media than a former teammate? And it's not so much media, it's more coaching. Alexis Morris had her comments, and she has been very candid about the Tigers throughout this whole year. So Alexis, as you know, was drafted to the Connecticut Suns. They then later on released her, and then she traveled, played some overseas ball for a second, and now she's with the Harlem Globetrotters, and she's doing an excellent job with them. It's been cool watching and keeping up with her. But what she does for us on her Instagram and all of her social media pages is pretty cool. She gives her take on the game. So I want to take a quick second or a few minutes here just to let y'all guys hear her take on the game, and we'll give our spill too.
Clark, rollerblades. On skates all night. Hillies. Do y'all remember the Hillies? Hillies. Do y'all remember the Hillies, dog? Like the ones you pick your feet up like this and you just roll. Damn. Somebody else should have. You feel me? We should have thrown multiple defenders at Kaylin just to give her a different look, make her think a little more. You feel what I'm saying? I think Haley did all she could. I think as a unit, we have to have better team defense. That's not just on Haley. So y'all can get on here and say, Haley didn't defend good. But at the end of the day, it takes a team to guard Kaylin. Unless you me. I'm just saying. But it takes a team to guard Kaylin. You know what I'm saying? When she get over that first screen, somebody got to help her on the second screen. It takes a whole unit. It's no one man is going to... Somebody...
I love her take. I love her passion, too. She keeps it 100. I like what she said. Man, no one person could stick Caitlin but me. But she slid. She did a good job defensively on her last year, hence the reason they won the national championship. But I thought she gave some really good tidbits, and you can tell that when she was a player on that team last year, obviously she was one of the oldest. And when you're one of the oldest on the team, it's coming from a guy who was a fifth-year senior on a team with Patrick Peterson, young Chad Jones. These guys will come to me a lot of times for just teammate advice about certain things, not about their position, of course. C. Raymond had that down pat. Best cornerback. He's the best cornerback coach in the country. So it wasn't about that, but just, being a collegiate adult, so on and so forth. So her being very candid about not only what they should have done, something else she said as well, we won't play it, I'll just state it, give different looks, right? She mentioned putting Angel Reese on Caitlin Clark, switching up Flaugier, then coming back with Haley, because Haley was playing decent defense. But when you switch up the defense like that on somebody on offense, it really throws them off. I know a lot of times, whether it was me and Glenn Dorsey or me and Charles Alexander or Drake Nevis, a lot of times we would switch. Like, we would spend maybe a quarter or two or a few series on, I would be on the left side, right? Playing the shade, 2-eye, 3. But if the defense changes, a lot of times we would put Glenn to the 3, and I would play the backside shade. But to the offensive lineman, we're switching up the guys. You gotta block Glenn different than you block me. Glenn's a little taller. You know, for me, I'm a bit shorter, but a little stronger. So for us, we came with that combination, and it worked out exceptionally well. So I love the fact that she gave her defensive strategy, her perspective on what, and I think she had a point. First and foremost, they won it all, right, when she did it against Iowa. And Caitlin was Caitlin last year, too. She did improve a bit much. But Iowa LSU, 12.3 million views. I mean, they said it was even more than the Eastern Conference Finals, the NBA of 2018, and it was breaking all kind of NBA records, like the most views. Oh, claps, baby. You go, girl. You go. The ladies is rolling. I'm excited for this weekend. I can't wait to watch Paige and Caitlin go at it this weekend, and them girls from NC State going up against South Carolina. That should be a good matchup. Versus, Carolina Blue Kicks. You know what I'm saying? NC State versus, you couldn't ask for better basketball. It was never like this. So I give a lot of credit to Coach Mulkey. I give a lot of credit to Coach Dawn. These ladies and the players, the Juju Watkins of the world, just taking the game to a whole nother level. Paige Buckner, she won Woman Athlete of the Year 2021. Just one of those things you can't deny. And that class, too, you think about the effect of COVID, right, and what it did not only for kids getting ready. With Conquer Sports, we did a lot of trying to create film, right, record players jumping over bags, running 40s, 3-cone drills to try to continue to help the recruiting process. So for these ladies to shine at that level. So let's take a look at the class of 2020 back in when Angel and all these ladies came in. Angel Reese, she's class of 2020. I mentioned Paige Buckner. Bickner. She's a part of class of 2020. And by the way, all of these ladies graded out at a 99. Cameron Brink, she was in that class as well from Stanford. Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark was a part of this class. And Camila Doso was a part of this class as well from South Carolina. So you looking at, this is the Final Four right here. Of course, Stanford and LSU isn't in it anymore. You add NC State now in this. So shouts out to the class of 2020 because they for sure delivered. I thought that was big time. Man, I didn't think I would ever see this, but word on the street, and we'll pop that up soon, but word on the street, LeBron James' son, Bronny, right? It's going to hit that transfer portal if he already hadn't done it. So now the conversation is, where does he go? What are some landing spots? Oregon is on that list of places. Why I say Oregon? Because they're on the East Coast. The West Coast. So he's already on that side. Dad still plays in L.A. You also look at different teams. Now, this is an interesting take. SMU. Now, his coach from USC apparently goes to SMU, and it's some type of deal. LeBron got one more year with the Lakers, or this could be it. I was reading an article earlier, just beat writers. Shouts out to all the beat writers out there. And it's a scenario if Bronny hits the portal, goes to SMU, LeBron James is already a big Luka fan. goes to Dallas, got a cool relationship with Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban drafts Bronny, and he gets to play with his son in Dallas. Check that. How y'all like that? And Dallas is such a great place. I got family out there. My siblings live in Dallas. The Cowboys are in Dallas. What if LeBron James ends up with the Cowboys? Think of that. Bronny hits the portal, goes to SMU. Look, the guys in the studio here like that. Mike and Terry, they're like, oh, yeah, it's a good deal. Dallas is a great place. Terry got people out there, too. Right? Yeah, what if that happens? They end up in Dallas. Jerry's World, LeBron's there playing with Luka. Yeah. Think they'll go and check that out, baby. Think it'll be cool down in Jerry's World, Dallas. Think of that, Bronny to Dallas. Seems cool. You'll have to take a ride out there. And in order to take a ride out there, you got to hit up Montero Motors, baby. That's right, 1512 Not Causeway in Metairie, Louisiana. We'll be back here on Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. Watch out. Kings on honor roll, plus you gotta pay tuition. Nobody crying, dog ain't handing out no tissues like big dog. Hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches podcast, Marlon Big Favorite. Did you know Small Sliders had an app? You can go to your Google Play Store or your Apple Store right now, download the Small Sliders app in Marrero, and order your food right now. You want to get a number 2? Well, slide through. 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. Small Sliders, simple on purpose. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. And we enjoying ourselves here on this hump day, baby. Y'all know what I told y'all, man. We just enjoying it. Enjoying the springtime, baby. It's almost summertime. Got a few more months here. So much that we're excited about. Hey, but check this out. The weather is getting beautiful. There's festivals coming up. There's events going on across the city. The Pelicans are red hot right now, having a better season right now than we've seen in previous years. So I think it's a good time for you to get on that hot list. That's right. 94253. You're going to text Big Fave. That's BIGFAV to 94253. Join it now to get on this exclusive hot list. You'll unlock access to mouth-watering food deals, complimentary game tickets, VIP events, you name it, unlock that hot list. And you know it goes down every Monday, right? We're at UPT Sports Social. That's 3218 Magazine Street in New Orleans, Louisiana. I think, you know what I think, y'all? We do our thing with the show there, but I think this summer I'm gonna want to put together some concerts and things of that nature. I mean, I'm just feeling it right now, man. Shouts out to the city of New Orleans. I was blessed to get recognized, get a proclamation from the city for my contribution to the music culture here in this beautiful city. Folks like Fiend and Black Menace and Insane, younger cats like Junior Montana and Lil Reezy, all of those folks received those awards as well. So we're better time for us to make it hot, baby. That is right. So I'm excited and blessed for those opportunities. And as I mentioned, this segment is brought to you guys by Uptown Sports Social. Y'all make y'all way on 7 days a week. They open. The games are on. The fights are on. We just have ourselves a good time at Uptown Sports Social. So y'all make y'all way on over there this week. And remember, Monday 6 to 8 for the live broadcast. But we're there, 3218 Magazine Street in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. Man, this NFL's been rolling with these free agency deals. I mean, the second free agency opened up, it was like, wow, this person is there. You look up and Saquon goes from blue to green, but he doesn't leave the NFC East, and all kind of blockbuster deals are going on. Well, this is one that we kind of figured was coming. Stephon Diggs gets traded to the Texans. Boy, the Texans just upgraded their wide receiving core earlier this morning. They worked out a deal for a 2025 second-round pick. Now, this is via Minnesota. Via Minnesota. Houston also receives a 2024 sixth-round pick and a 2025 fifth-round pick in this deal. Yo, Houston is just making the deals work. I mean, H-Town, hold up. You know what I'm saying? Them boys from Texas is making it happen. Slow out and banging. All in my trunk. Trunk full of, I ain't never been you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Zero and the folks down there, west down I-10, making an exceptional deal, bringing in Diggs. So a new-looking receiving core for Houston now. Nico Collins, who was clutch for C.J. Stroud last year. You still have Tank Dell. I was able to get some decent fantasy points from Tank. He was on my team for fantasy football. And you still have John Michelin as well on the team. Noah Brown from Dallas, Robert Woods. So what we see is this receiving core now, Stephon Diggs. Don't forget about Dalton Schultz. So it's tons of targets now that C.J. Stroud has. And if you think about this team last year, they made it to the playoffs. No one expected. You know, everybody thought that Bryce Young might have been a better pick. And here this kid comes in and is doing an exceptional job at quarterback. You add another weapon. But now Buffalo doesn't have a receiving core. They already was kind of right there, maybe missing a target or two, but they may now lean towards this draft. Now, Mike, I don't have the draft order in front of me, so I know Buffalo picks like somewhere maybe 22, 23. I'm just taking an educated guess. I didn't have that in my notes. But what I will say is they're definitely in the market for a wide receiver, and this class has tons of them. You don't know who. I don't think they could potentially trade up and get a guy like Brian Thomas Jr., Of course, Marvin Harrison Jr. won't be there. Of course, you look at guys like Malik Neighbors. He won't be there, but you will have a chance to look at this class that has – you may want to look at a guy like Xavier Worthy. He may be a speedster for you that you could add to that class, but they may look into free agency as well for that position. So things are starting to the plot is thickening across the NFL. Just some other noticeable deals that came up. Austin Eckler is now with Washington. It's a 2-year deal, $11 million. You got a guy like Darrell Mooney, who's now in Atlanta. It's a 3-year deal, $39 million. Looking across the board of some of the top deals, I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the defensive line. You have a guy like Javon Kinlaw, who is now with the Jets. It's a 1-year deal. So teams are trying their hardest, and you see this repeating cycle. I'm hearing rumors of Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys potentially working on a deal to get him back in Dallas. You have that, hey, go a year from now and then come back and we'll see how the market looks in free agency. And you think of a safety like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who was in New Orleans, drafted in New Orleans, gets traded to Philly. Now he's in Philly, wins or goes to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, no, he won the Super Bowl with Philly. No, they lost. They lost to Kansas City. So he goes to the Super Bowl, loses the Super Bowl, and then is now back in Philadelphia for 3 years, $33 million. I mean, he's one of those necessary players when you look at guys around the league to stick to the D-line in true inside the trenches fashion. You also have a guy like Sheldon Rankins, who spent some time in New Orleans as well. I thought Sheldon was clutch for us here, and he was able to do some things that we really needed up front in terms of pressure, getting sacks. He averaged, like, when healthy, 4 to 5 sacks a year. Take a guy like Brian Bruzy, 4.5 sacks last year. He had about 9 tackles for loss and was able to be a force for us up front. So a good defensive lineman, as most coaches say, is always important, is always good. Looking around the league as well, you look at what Houston did, and you can only think about who's the next best team in the AFC South. Who's making some of the better moves in free agency? You look at what Jacksonville did, bringing in Matt Jones. I thought that was a little different, but just bringing in another backup starting quarterback, guys with experience matter, maybe motivate Trevor Lawrence a little bit. But what's more interesting is looking at what Tennessee did and how Coach Brian Callahan is structuring his team, new head coach. Looking at this receiving core, 2 names that pop up. You have Calvin Ridley and you have DeAndre Hopkins. Does Tennessee look at wide receiver in this year's draft? They bring over LSU product in Laura Cushenberry, acquire him from Denver, and they also have as a backup Charles Sadiq. So you have from LSU as well. They got him from Washington. So you see that formulating. You see that starting to come together in one bit. And then you look at the pair of running backs. Tony Pollard, get him from Dallas. And I thought that was a good move. To me, that's where Houston made some improvements in the wide receiving core. You have Tennessee making that same move with these run-pass catchers in their backfield. Tony Pollard, of course, the year he had with Ezekiel Elliott 2 years ago, put him on the map, and then Dallas felt like it was a better opportunity for them to roll with Tony Pollard as their number 1 back. He was pretty good for Dallas. I thought he helped his stock some. Clearly, now he's in Tennessee as their premier back. And they needed a number 1 or number 2 because Tyjae Spears, out of Ponchatoula, out of Tulane, is an elusive back. And I think he has the ability to be back number 1, but you want to be able to give this this running back room a veteran, and that's what Tony Pollard brings. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. We're having ourselves a grand time on this Wednesday evening. Y'all be sure to stick around for the show. We'll have Mario talk to us a little bit about the Pels game. It's going down in the blender tonight, so he's going to join us just to kind of talk about some things the Pels need to continue to improve on. And also, we're going to get back into some NFL talk as well. I'll be joined here shortly by my man Preston Guy from TigerBait.com to talk about LSU and their spring game coming up on April 22nd and just kind of look at how they're doing this spring. But, man, we're enjoying this ride. We're excited about the way that our market is looking in terms of sports here in Louisiana. So it's so much to talk about as well. So there's more NFL talk here on the show. We'll talk some more Pels. We'll look at some mock drafts and everything else. And if you're looking for somewhere to check out the game this weekend, make your way on over to Uptown Sports Social. That's 3218 Magazine Street in beautiful New Orleans, Louisiana. It's a nice atmosphere. You walk in there, you feel like you're in a sports bar. They have sports flags all over the place, TV monitors. Everywhere you sit at UPT, you'll have a TV in front of you. You'll be able to enjoy some of the best food in the city at the #1 sports bar in the city. UPT, that's Uptown Sports Social. So we'll take a quick break here. We're streaming live right now on New Orleans Talk Network. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. Hello. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student-athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Favorite Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Favorite Wright. Watch out there now. Welcome back to another segment of Inside the Trenches here on New Orleans Talk Network, also ESPN New Orleans 100.3 FM. On our Crown Car Wash line, I got my good friend from TigerBait.com, Preston Guy, on the line. Y'all make sure y'all follow him on X at Preston Guy 77. What's up, P? How's making out, baby?
Hey, Big Faye, what's going on, man?
Man, all is well. I'm excited for the Tigers this spring. I've been hearing some good stuff coming up there from out of Baton Rouge. Just briefly here, I wanted to get your observation from spring practice so far. I know the first couple of times you came on the show, we're approaching holiday time. Y'all were only able to get so much, but I checked out TigerBay.com. I saw y'all had some video from the indoor. What's your observation thus far?
Yeah, so far the biggest just overlapping takeaway is the offense is ahead of the defense still, but maybe not quite as much as they were last year. Probably the offense is a little step back from last year, and the defense is a step ahead from where they were last year. Defense is trying some new things, and they're very, very much so in the thick of the evaluation of talent phase of things on the defense. And they're rolling out some guys in new positions and testing some things out. Whereas the offense is, most of the personnel is kind of set in stone for the offense. They kind of know what they're doing and really, working on chemistry and installing some new concepts, because the offense is going to have to look different than it did last year, because you don't have Jaden Daniels and his, 1,100 yards rushing. You're going to have to get more of a traditional running attack. So I'd say those are the overarching themes I've noticed so far.
I noticed you mentioned the defense first. One area we all have a concern about is the defensive line. But just watching you guys film from practice with Coach Bo, those drills look much tighter. I'm looking at Coach Bo helping those guys use a long arm extension, creating space, just being able to be dominant in that gap. So I do believe that that's one area that seems to need the most improvement, and you'll get it. I know it'll take time. In your opinion, after watching April 2nd's practice, what guys stood out to you on the defensive line, like our guys?
I'm trying to think, Big Faye, the hard truth about the defensive line is they're behind a good bit on the offensive line right now. It's been very quiet. Now, I do like the job that both Bo Davis and Kevin Peoples is doing with the defensive line, and they're spending their time, working on these guys. But thus far in practice, the offensive line's gotten the better of them. You got one of the best offensive lines in the country, and you got a defensive line that is severely lacking depth. And, last year they were severely lacking talent. So if I had to pick someone, probably Jacoby and Guillory from the defensive tackle spot is your best-looking guy thus far. And there's other guys that are just going to have to step up. Like, Jalen Lee is going to be a starter this year in all likelihood, unless they go to the portal and pick up a guy better than him. And he's a guy who hasn't really played much big-time SEC football, both at Florida and LSU. He's been kind of a backup player. So some guys are going to have to step up on that defensive line, and don't be surprised if they go to the spring window to pull in some depth at that spot.
That's something we will keep an eye on this spring, and if it doesn't look the way Coach Kelly wants it to look, when they are in front of people in the spring game, if at least 3 or 4 guys don't stand out up front, I can imagine that they're going to go to the portal. And it's just good for competition, too. I think it does get the best of guys. Harold Perkins, is he adjusting well to he's playing the interior linebacker position, but now it's under different instruction, right? Coach Blake takes over.
Yeah.
That's he's a coordinator, but that's where he coaches. Does he look smoother at that position? Do you see us possibly seeing that Harold Perkins we saw his freshman year?
I like what I'm seeing out of Harold Perkins. Now, keep in mind, in this defense, there's not really a back edge rusher type linebacker role like there was in the Matt House defense. So there's not really too much of an option for him to just be an a pass rushing specialist. And my thoughts on him are that overall he's just too darn talented to relegate to just go out there on third down and go get the quarterback. You have to do some other things. You have a dynamic athlete who's not bad in coverage, who can tackle an open field, who can, has some true close-in speed on the edge. you really needed to get a good coach with him. And we've seen the work Blake Baker has done with linebackers at LSU. Think about Damone Clark, what an incredible season he had in 2021. Talking about a guy who has a history of getting the most out of guys. So he and Greg Penn, I think, are actually looking pretty solid at the linebacker spot. And behind them, you've got the Weeks brothers holding it down on the second team. Now, they have a star DB position, which plays kind of like a rover, where it's a hybrid, linebacker, DB type person. They've got Major Burns in that role right now, because Major Burns is a guy, obviously having played safety most of his career, they feel like he's got good coverage skills, but also has a big enough body to step up in the box and shred a block and make tackles, on the line of scrimmage. So you kind of have to consider Major Burns a part of that group now.
He is someone that I am looking to see a major, no pun intended, a major jump in his season this year. He played a significant role last year, but this year we're going to lean on him to be dominant. And I think he could have a Tyrann Mathieu type effect, not saying talent-wise, but effect, being able to, as you mentioned, cover a tight end, cover a running back out of the backfield, do those things that we need to see from him more often. If you're just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, you're listening to Preston Guy with TigerBait.com. Y'all can follow Preston at PGuy77 on X. Check him out. He puts up great content. Anything you need to know about LSU, something you want to see in regards to a certain player, they do an excellent job at putting that up. When you look at the quarterbacks, we see Nussmeier having the edge. He has that competitive edge, and it looks like, from what I'm seeing on tape, like he's the number one guy this year. But when you get to quarterback 2, Ricky Collins, A.J. Swan in that mix, we have incoming freshmen coming in and Curley. What's your thoughts on quarterback number 2? Correct.
What's my thoughts there? So, Nussmeier clearly has the reins of this offense. He's got some really good control. He likes to push the ball downfield. He's got a really good connection with Chris Hilton that was a little slower to pick up when I first went out there, but in recent practices, they have been finding Chris Hilton more and more often. There's been a couple throws with Nussmeier. He's a gunslinger, and he's thrown a couple interceptions. I'd also like to credit, a guy like Sage Ryan, who's improved quite a bit for making those interceptions, So Nussmeier's clearly a guy. I think he's set to have a pretty big year. But the backup spot is very tightly contested between A.J. Swan and Ricky Collins. Ricky Collins, of course, took a red shirt last year. He was a 4-star recruit out of Woodlawn High School here in Baton. Then A.J. Swan, the transfer from Vanderbilt, has much more SEC experience. And let me tell you, it's close. I don't know who's going to win that battle. We'll see. Right now, I would say I'd give a slight nod to A.J. Swan, but really not confident in either way. And I'll say this about Colin Hurley. He doesn't look like he turned 17 in March. So that means when he rolled out there for spring practice for the first time, he was 16 years old.
Wow.
He is unbelievably physically developed for such a young player. He is thick. He can move well. He's clean technique and form. He's a guy where, hey, look, if all hell breaks loose and you got to turn to a 4th-string quarterback and he's a true freshman, you're feeling good for given that context.
That's a good quarterback room right there.
He's so mature and developed for someone his age. So you have to feel good about your future with him, but I'm sure the coaches would prefer that he take a year to learn the system, learn the playbook, and take a red shirt behind all these guys.
Last question here I have for you, Press. We need impact players. We had the class of 2024 signing day in February. Some guys did the early signing day. When you think of the guys that's coming in, who do you think will have an immediate impact? Is it Dominique McKinley? Is it Juwan Johnson? What are some names that stick out that could be a guy that could be a freshman that plays for LSU this year and make a major impact?
Well, let's go one on each side of the ball. Dominic McKinley, I think, is the very obvious one you pick on defense, simply because you don't have a defensive tackle that's really ready to go for this team. I'm sorry, you probably have Jacobian Guillory, but you really don't have another one alongside him. So you're really looking for a guy to step in and fill that role. It is not an easy position to plug a true freshman in, but you really are kind of hoping that you end up doing that way, that he lives up to his 5-star rating and he is a plug-and-play star from day one. But the odds are stacked against him if you look historically how many freshmen are able to come in as true freshmen and do that. So, but we'll go with Dominic McKinley because whether he's ready or not, he's going to be on the field and he's going to be asked to do some big things. Switching on the offensive side of the ball, if we're talking a true freshman coming in, I looked at Caden Durham, who finds himself all of a sudden in a running back room that went from 8 guys last year to right now 3, including him, and he's not even on campus yet. He's a fall enrollee. But Brian Kelly has a system where every year 4 running backs get 40 or more carries.
That's right.
Well, you only have 3. So you don't even have the really required amount to run the Brian Kelly offense. I would suggest that they're either going to get Trey Holly eligible or they're going to bring in another guy.
He's Preston.
So that being said, Caden Durham is a speedster. He is in that Duncanville prolific offense in Texas, 6A state champions back-to-back. I think he's a guy who can come in and compete for a lot of carries. He should get some good spotlight in this offense this year.
Well, he's Preston Guy. Y'all make sure y'all check him out, tigerbait.com. You can follow Preston at pguy77 on X. Press, thank you so much for joining us. Looking forward to having you back on here next week, baby. Hello, somebody.
All right, babe. See you then.
Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. Crown Car Wash, baby. Thank you. Peace. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite Wright. Watch out there now. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. He has the heart of a champion.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
What's up, beautiful people? It's the host of Inside the Trenches, Marlon Big Favorite. And it's time for me to relive my hoop dreams. You know what I'm saying? A little NBA action. And this segment is brought to you guys by Small Sliders too, by the way. That's 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero, Louisiana. My next guest is a Small Sliders fan. He was supposed to come get some Small Sliders from us a couple of times, but we're going to definitely have to get him on there. And I'm talking about my man, Mario Jerez. Y'all make sure y'all check Mario out. He does Pelican Radio every week. And right now, I thank him for stepping outside of the loud blender because I know it's litty right now at the Pels game. So I just wanted to get Mario on the line real quick to give us some feedback from this Pelicans game and some tidbits. And he can also talk to us about some of the information on his podcast. Mario, what's happening?
Hey, what's good, Big Fave? I'm trying to picture you hooping. I feel like you probably utilized the UREC a lot when you were at LSU, but I've been trying to hoop recently, and I feel like we should try and play some basketball sometime soon, man. I'm curious what Big Fave looks like on the hardwood.
I'm telling you, see, this is my thing. I'm really big on defense, so I play good defense. I have somewhat good handles. I would say my handles is pretty much okay, but for the most part, I'm no Zion. How about that?
That's what's up, man. The Lord didn't bless me with height or jumping ability, so I'm like you. I try to be like Jose Alvarado on defense, and I try to spread the floor. So that's kind of the scouting report on Mario, if we're ever able to play.
And it's smart how Alvarado plays. I saw one play, I don't know if this was a while back, but you know the Pels had just scored, so he kind of hid to like the corner of the court, and soon as they were passing the ball into Gary Temple, he just came around and snagged the ball and scored again. He's a sneaky player.
Yeah, man. It's crazy he's still getting away with that because that's been his thing for really like the last 2 seasons. But, yeah, that's what you call getting Grand Theft Alvarado.
That's it. Grand Theft Alvarado. Hello. So what the atmosphere is right now, man, in the blender, brother? I know we're fresh off of a home loss against the Suns. We'll talk about that game here momentarily, but like how it is, people still excited, huh?
Yeah, people are excited, Big Fave, but I would describe it as kind of like a nervous energy. I think when you and I talked on this program last week, I maybe underestimated just a little bit how much the Pelicans would miss Brandon Ingram and Jose Alvarado, who you mentioned, who is also out for this game tonight. You're still in a good spot. The Pelicans entering today 6th place in the Western Conference, although they're only 1 game ahead of both Phoenix and Sacramento now and trying to hold them off. But the Magic are a good team. You know, this isn't your older brothers Orlando Magic. They're coming into this game 44-31, 4th place in the Eastern Conference. And the Pelicans know that the level of competition will maybe go down a little bit these next 2 games against the Magic and then the Spurs on Friday, but they definitely got to play better than they have been in this homestand because they're 1-3 so far in this 6-game homestand. Thank God they were able to salvage a win against the Milwaukee Bucks last Thursday night, but really it's been kind of underwhelming. And yes, the people are still excited. You're still trying to defend your home court, but there's a little bit of nervous energy because the Pelicans have not been taking care of business and they've been sliding down the standings. So tonight is not a game you want to call a must win, but it's definitely one that the Pelicans need to try to make up for some of these last 4 games.
When you think about the matchup against Orlando, it is an Eastern opponent, but when you think in this game, here are the keys to victory for the Pels. Is it maybe utilizing Trey Murphy more, shooting 3-pointers? Is it really running the offense through Zion? Like, what are some of the keys to victory for the Pels tonight?
Well, before anything, just play decent basketball because for whatever reason, the Magic have just owned the Pelicans, Big Fave, the last 5 or 6 years. No matter how good or bad the Pelicans are playing, they seem to struggle against this team. And the last 18 games, Orlando's won 14 of them against the Pelicans, 14-4 against New Orleans in the last 18. So don't do any uncharacteristic stuff. Realize what's at stake and play your game. To be a little bit more specific, it's a little bit of what you mentioned there. I think somebody not named Zion Williamson had to have a big game tonight. I talked about Trey and Jordan Hawkins stepping up when we talked last week after Brandon Ingram was hurt, but those guys have not really played to the best of their abilities. Hawkins is finally getting the playing time, but he seems like he's honestly playing a little bit scared, like kind of a step slow on offense and on defense. So I want to see him be a little bit more decisive. If not, you might see him lose his spot to Matt Ryan. And then Trey Murphy has made some timely threes. It's not like he's been playing bad, but I'd like to see him attack the basket maybe a little bit earlier in the game. And then defensively, Trey's been having a lot of lapses. Like, I know y'all watched the game against the Suns and Devin Booker, what he was able to do. In the first half, a lot of that was uncontested. And I think when the Pelicans had their last film session, Trey Murphy probably got called out a decent amount of time. So you want to see those two guys step up. And also when it comes to Zion, I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive at the beginning of the game right now as we're about to tip off, because I'm finally learning Zion's game, Big Fave. You know, this is the first season he's played 62-plus games, and he's a guy that likes to kind of feel out the defense, see how teams are going to defend him, what they're going to throw at him. But you don't really have that margin for error. I'd like to see Zion kind of impose his will a little bit earlier in this game, because he played well in the last one, the loss against Boston, but he seemed to take a little bit long to get going, like a little lethargic in the first quarter. So he definitely needs some help in tonight's game, but I'd like to see Zion attack the basket a little bit earlier in the game, try to impose his will a little bit on this young Orlando Magic team.
If you're just tuning in to Inside the Trenches, you're listening to Mario Jerez. Make sure y'all follow him on X at Mario_E_Jerez. And you can also listen to Mario on New Orleans Pelicans and New Orleans Saints Spanish radio. That's 100.7 FM right here in the beautiful city of New Orleans. Mario could keep y'all rolling on the games. I know our Spanish and Latino community that listens to the show would love to be able to check out some of the things that's going on. So, Mario, let's talk about you a little bit. We have Pel's Kitchen, the podcast, where you give us exclusive intel on the Pels being at every game. I mean, you're forced to watch it and look at those little tidbits and things that they need to work on. What could our listeners expect checking out your podcast here the next couple of days to hear?
Well, I'm planning on releasing the next episode tonight after the game, and I try to keep it as evergreen as possible, you know, because you have so many games. But I'm definitely going to get into a little bit what I was talking about just now with you. Zion, I think, has made some serious progress this season with anything just staying on the court, but he definitely needs some help. I'm going to talk about how the Pelicans can do that until Brandon Ingram gets back, and then after Brandon Ingram is back. And I also am going to discuss what's happening at center, because if you've been keeping up with the Pelicans, Big Fave and audience, they've kind of had a problem at center, especially in the second half of games, because it seems like when Jonas Valanciunas is in these games, a lot of these teams hunt him when the Pelicans are on defense, and he's a little bit slow for some of these lineups. But on the other hand, when Larry's in the game, he's a little faster. He has a little bit more switchability of the defender, but the Pelicans always get killed on the boards, which normally does not happen when Jonas is in the game. So they got some stuff to figure out there. Do they play Zion at the 5 a little bit earlier in games like they have been doing? That's definitely something we're going to get into in Pel's Kitchen. And then I'll talk a little bit about Brandon Ingram, give you all the latest on him. They're gonna reevaluate Ingram this Friday before the game against the Spurs. So we'll have some news. It seems pretty optimistic just based on the reports from Shams and Woj and from what Willie Green said the other day, which is that he's hopeful Brandon Ingram can play in the regular season, not just the playoffs, but get some run before then. So that'll be what's coming up on Pel's Kitchen. You know, it's an exciting time. The Pelicans are trying to play past Game 82 for the third straight year, which would be the first time in franchise history. But like I was telling you a few minutes ago, fans are feeling a little bit uneasy just because they're sliding down the standings. So we'll talk about how they can keep composure, how Pelicans fans can stay optimistic, and how the Pels can take care of business here in what's a really important stretch coming up.
In terms of Brandon Ingram, what that timetable looks like for him to return, I've heard some folks say that he looks like he may get back in a few games. They're talking about, as you mentioned, how the scope is going to change when he get back. What's the timetable like, you think, Mario, when we can expect B.I. to be back on the court?
So this Friday we'll have some kind of formal updates. Just going on what we've seen and watching Brandon, not watching him. He's been doing some work, not basketball work, but running, hitting the treadmill. I would think if I had to speculate that he would be back before the playoffs. I think it's very important for him to push through whatever is ailing him from that bone bruise, because it could have been a lot worse. Y'all saw the game, which was against the Magic, by the way, where it looked like he maybe had a really bad knee injury and maybe tore something. But it ended up just being a contusion, which is a really, really good diagnosis. But it's still to his lower extremity. Like when he comes back, that's going to affect him pushing off, fading away, sliding his feet on defense. So I think he will be back definitely for the playoffs. I'd be shocked if he's not back in time for game one or whatever series the Pelicans are trying to play in. But I think it'll be a matter of him getting back before the regular season ends and learning to manage that pain. That's probably something you dealt with a lot of the defensive linemen, Big Fave, bone bruise, especially when it comes to your lower extremities and your knees. So I think he will be back rather soon, but the question is how effective will Brandon Ingram be? Because they need the same Brandon Ingram that they've seen all season before he suffered this injury.
He was spinning and body control in the air, making those. He's not a heavy guy, which is good for the lower extremity because it's a lighter land. But to your point, his health is going to play a major role in how far I think we could take it in the playoffs. Now, Trey Murphy, he has stepped up to the plate, but kind of how we look at Taysom Hill, we know Taysom Hill is going to come in and make some plays for the Saints. I kind of view Trey Murphy right there. He's a key player on that team, but we need that veteran leadership from BI along with him coming off of the bench or however you rotate that. Because even I know with Eunice Valanciunas, they'll bring him in at some moment. He'll be in the starting line. Eunice will be in the starting lineup. So I like the way they mix that up. He's Mario Jerez. Remember, y'all, make sure y'all check Mario out on X at Mario_E_Raz. Y'all go on there, you click on there and check out his podcast as well, Pel's Kitchen. As he mentioned, he's going to get y'all rolling. And for the game here, it's about to kick off here in a few. Y'all check him out. If y'all still in the car, y'all check him out at 100.7 FM. But then y'all come back and check us out too as well. Man, Mario, thank you so much for coming on the show. And, man, can't wait to get you in the studio. Hello.
All right, Big Fave. Sounds like a plan, brother. Talk to you next time, my friend.
Peace. Y'all don't go anywhere. That was hour one, jammed up. We had this thing rolling. Y'all stick around. We still got a mock draft to look at and all kind of other things. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN New Orleans. Streaming live on New Orleans Talk Network. Watch out there now. Hello, somebody. Yeah, I'ma move my body. Yeah, you gonna be somebody. You never know when you gonna... Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches. with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Oh yeah, it's hour 2. Yeah. And we rolling, yeah. That's right. Come on. The Pels are playing. That's right. I hope y'all on y'all way to the Pels game. I hope y'all driving safe and having a nice time. It's the first quarter. I would like to keep y'all posted, but we're going to save all that information for tomorrow. Make y'all listen tomorrow. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Favorite. We're live here at the New Orleans Talk Network studio. It's ESPN New Orleans. Remember, y'all make sure y'all check us out every week, Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. I'm taking you home at the tail end of drive time, baby. Shouts out to all my truckers out there making their deliveries across the city and the region. Make sure I keep y'all entertained, keep y'all riding home smoothly, baby. And check this out. I want to keep y'all entertained, but I want y'all to get exclusive deals, right? I want to hook y'all up. I got the hook up. Holla if you hear me. Shouts out to Master P and the whole No Limit family as well. Cash Money, Take Four, Big Boy, everybody. I love New Orleans that much. But look, we got this hot list. If you text Big Fave, that's BIGFAV to 94253. You text that number right now, that message, you will be on the hot list. You'll get a text putting you on the hot list. We're unlocking mouthwater and food specials, complimentary game tickets, VIP events, and more. Remember, text Big Fave, BIGFAV to 94253. So since we've been experiencing all of these moves in free agency and all the bells and whistles, I said, you know what? I'm going to check out CBSNFL.com, CBSSports.com, should I say, and see if I could find some interesting reads. So I found a 2-minute read by Cody Benjamin. And the headlines is projecting 6 new NFL playoff teams for 2024. That includes Aaron Rodgers and the Jets and Kirk Cousins and the Falcons. Now, the first thing pops in our head is last season. We remember Aaron Rodgers experienced an injury that ended the season. We wasn't even all the way through the first quarter. So that cut the Jets out of the deal. They went back to Wilson, and y'all know how the rest of the season. Sauce got off, though. Shouts out to Sauce Gardner. I thought that class had some really good defensive backs. Him and Derek Stingley have been balling in the league. So, you know, Sauce was doing like Buffalo Wild Wings commercials and things of that nature, so on and so forth. But just thinking back to this, I'm saying to myself, you know what? I get it. I understand where they're rolling. So what Cody did, he said that last year Atlanta finished 7-10. In their last playoff season, y'all remember 2017, y'all know what happened. Yeah, 28-3. We don't really have to discuss that. Hello. But the Falcons have basically been on a downward spiral since then. But now they have Kirk Cousins, right? Here's a quarterback who has some elite receivers around him. Kirk Cousins has also been a trending quarterback in the NFL over the past couple of years. So it just forces you to think, all right, what difference could Kirk Cousins make on his team? Well, the biggest difference is they have a new head coach, and Coach Raheem Morris. Here's a guy, in my opinion, or coach, should I say, that's well-respected through the league, right? He's done an excellent job coaching before. He's had some rough seasons as well. Of course, remember his time at Tampa. But he also strikes me as a guy that can motivate the locker room. Kirk Cousins. Kirk was my teammate in Washington. This was my 4th year in the NFL. This was his first. good locker room guy, nice person. On the field, he's energetic. But you start thinking of what's their weapons in the receiving core? How's their defensive line looking like? Will they be able to pressure the quarterbacks? The NFC South right now is a wounded conference, or should I say wounded division. You do have targets on that team. You do have a rebuilding roster. So when you think about their receiving core, you got Drake London, you have Darrell Mooney from Tulane, local, and you have Rondell Moore. Some weapons for Kirk. Protection. Jake Matthews. You have Chris Lindenstrom. You have some guys, Lindenstrom, should I say? You have some guys. All right, do they have a big target tight end? Yeah, they do have a big target tight end in Kyle Pitts. Do they have a running game? BJ Bajan Robinson. Man, they ain't got no defense. Well, they got Grady Jarrett. So you get where I'm going with this. Atlanta, I see what Cody's talking about in regards to Atlanta possibly being a team, but I think the Saints going to stop there. So, Cody, we ain't going to go too far. I do think the New Orleans Saints going to. Hello. Another team he mentioned, Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, of course. You're getting some weapons around Burrow. You have a healthy Jamar Chase. You add a guy up front like Sheldon Rankins and Geno Stone. You can see this Cincinnati team kind of get things going. Now, they finished last season 9-8, and their last playoff run was in 2022. But Cincinnati, a red-hot team. I mentioned guys like Jamar Chase. Just building weapons around Joe Burrow has always been key for the squad in Cincinnati. They don't really have an indoor either, so it'd be freezing. They'd be outside. And Lil J be like, yeah, man, freezing out here, son. I can't wait to get to the Nola, you heard me? Shouts out to Lil J. He holding it down for the West Bank out there, yeah. But you got Trent Brown on the offensive line for them as well. Running back Zach Moss. So I do think Cincinnati is probably a top dog running back away from being exceptional. But I think when you look at this Cincinnati defense, they do have some guys, right? You got Sam Hubbard. You got Cam Sample from Tulane. That's their depth on the defensive line at the end position. And then there's B.J. Hill. He's a clutch interior lineman with Sheldon Rankins. And we've locally seen the type of defensive end Trey Henderson had an excellent season the past 2 seasons. So they're in good hands. I mentioned them adding Geno Stone at the free safety position. They acquired him from Baltimore. So bringing winners on the team does help when you're coming off of a not successful season. I don't want to say it was a super losing season because they still was over 500 when they finished. Jacksonville, Jaguars. Now, earlier I didn't mention them, right? I talked about the improvements made with Tennessee. I talked about the improvements made in Houston. But Jacksonville has also put themselves in a decent position as well. They brought Gabe Davis in to replace Calvin Ridley. So those are some positives. Those, in my opinion, are some positives moving forward for them. I do look at a team like Jacksonville. They did beat us last year here in New Orleans. They were fighting and clawing throughout last football season, and they were able to manage over 9-8. Everybody from the AFC South more than likely won't get a chance. So y'all tweet me at BigFave504. Let me know y'all's thoughts. Y'all can also hit us here. Make sure y'all like and subscribe to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite on YouTube, along with New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube. Just get our full episodes. I like to add shorts on mine. But y'all can hit our comment space on that. I want to know, in the AFC South, who has the edge, Tennessee or Jacksonville? Teams that made similar moves. I thought for Jacksonville, they for certainly positioned themselves at the quarterback position to sustain the season, just in case anything goes down with Trevor Lawrence. I don't think Mac Jones is the best option, but he did start in the NFL. You know, like I put the whisper on because, I mean, he's not really a top dog quarterback. You feel what I'm saying? Hello. But they do improve when I mean they, Jacksonville Jaguars, in the receiving core with Gabe Davis. He was clutch for Buffalo. That's why I say Buffalo for certainly is going to have to make sure that they draft well at that position. I thought that they made some improvements bringing in Eric Armstead to their defensive line. So there's some improvement space there. One more here before we take a quick break. A few more teams that they mentioned. The New York Jets. Talked about that with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not sure. Seattle Seahawks. They were 9-8 last year. You have to look at the direction they're headed as well. And then another team they mentioned was Tennessee. It's Inside the Trenches, baby. Y'all don't go anywhere. And if you want a bite to eat, it's late at night, just want like a little quick snack, y'all need to make y'all way on over to Small Sliders. That's 1635 Barataria Boulevard in Marrero. That's Marrero, Louisiana. My residence, baby. Y'all make sure y'all make y'all way on over there. When we get back, we're going to take a look at a few mock drafts. We'll take a couple looks at some mock drafts. We're also going to look at the best receiving core class. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. Well, hello, it's Marlon Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com.
Oh yeah, we live, baby. I hope y'all enjoyed this show today. Y'all know that time fly when we having ourselves a good time. So much fun here on Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans. We representing, baby, and we streaming live all the time on New Orleans Talk Network. So y'all remember to go subscribe to the page. My YouTube is Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite. You can check out my music videos on there. We have shorts for some of the episodes, a lot of good content. And then for the full episodes of Inside the Trenches, you can go to New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube. Pull it up, you'll see, and there's tons of shows here. You have Red Lipstick Talk, you have the Live Line, you have Fan View as well on here. We have Bible Study. You can check out our show, and it's just a great time here at New Orleans Talk Network as well. And we want to thank our segment sponsor for this particular segment, Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard in Metairie. It's Metairie, Louisiana. I like to say Metairie. Metairie, Louisiana. Holla at Alberto, said, look, Alberto, I got a couple bucks on me. I'm trying to get me a nice whip. Big Face said he was going to hook me up. Alberto going to work the magic for you. And I'm more than sure you're going to ride off in one of the best used cars in the city. So y'all check out Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway Boulevard. So this deal here is called 5 with Fave. I'm going to try to get y'all these as much as possible. Is where I pick 5 storylines or 5 of my favorite stories or 5 players or whatever the case may be. I may have a guest on and we may ask them 5 questions. It's just 5 with Fave. Today I was talking with the fellas in the studio and we were trying to figure out exactly how we were going to do today's segment. And I didn't want to just say, hey, let's pick the 5 best players in the draft. We'll save that closer to the draft. I'll make that a 5 with Fave later. But I wanted to, as a former NFL interior defensive lineman, most of my time there, I played nose guard, played 3-tech, shade, the 2-eye. It was only a handful of times that I played defensive end. It was kind of like a little setup by Coach Giff out in Buffalo. Coach was like, all right, yeah, we just drafted a couple guys. Fade, we moving you to the end. You going to play full technique. And I'm like, hey, at LSU, I never played full technique. So that was the only time I was outside the trenches for a second. But I want to name my top 5 interior off defensive linemen over the years. Number 5 on my list goes to a guy by the name of Casey Hampton. Casey really revolutionized that nose guard position in the NFL. Casey's game ranged. He Pittsburgh, they ran that 3-man front. Big Casey's always the guy in the middle, just holding his point for a very long time. It was him that really catapulted that nose guard position. Casey probably played somewhere around 350, 360, big player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and he really dominated at that position. So Casey Hampton, when you look at it from a technique standpoint, it's a different technique when you're playing in a 3-4 defense. You're asked to 2-gap, you're asked to read, so you can't really have a burst of speed like you want to at that position. But I thought Casey Hampton, when I always thought about interior linemen and at the I would say the prime of his game, I was still in high school, a little bit of college, so he's somebody as a nose guard at LSU. And my senior year at West Jeff, Coach Hank, we switched to the 3-4 defense, so I would play that position, and he was someone, especially on dominating the run stop, Casey Hampton. At number 4, I like that. Number 4. Number 4 on my list goes to Vince Wilfork. I mean, let me tell you something about Big V, bro. This dude, listen, I know a lot of us who do this, we watch film, we check guys out, and we say, let me tell you something. Man, I watched this guy play against the Steelers, or I watched him play against the Jets, and he just dominated. I mean, Big Vince is probably the most famous for Mark Sanchez's butt fumble. How you have the butt fumble? Yeah, because Big Vince took the center and drove him in the backfield so quick. Big, massive guy, played on the Miami Hurricanes team that went to the national championship back. He played with Ed Reed and played with Frank Gore. You start naming those guys off of that team. Big Vince. Big Vince came into the league and just dominated, man. He really took that nose guard position to a different level. My favorite Vince story. All right. So we get back from the lockout. So everybody's been home. This is 2011. We at home for the lockout. So we get back to New England from the lockout, and we all had to do our weigh-in. So we went weighed in. After that we had to do all of the various drills, the 3-cone. Like Coach Belichick wanted to check us out all the way. He wanted to see if guys were still conditioned. He wanted to see if you could still do the short drills. So Big Vince and another guy I'll reveal because I got a story for him too. He's on this list. Big Vince gets on the scale 2 people before me. That scale read 360 plus. I think it was like 365. So I'm like, God, man, that dude big. We run the 3-cone drill. Oh, he had the fastest time. Mike, I ain't lying. Big V, boy, he could move. For a big man in this game, he does the thug thizzle. Of course, when he left the Patriots, he went to Houston. He was a staple on that nose guard. That's number 4 on my list, Vince Wilfork. I've never seen a man this big and that athletic. Good guy, too, and was a mentor of mine as well. Just the tidbits you need to be a big, dominant guy. He didn't shy away from sharing that information. Neither did the next guy on my list. Number 3. Number 3 on my list, Albert Hainsworth. I mean, big money Albert. Everybody remember Albert Hainsworth, his time at Washington. He did in Tennessee. He was just a dog in Tennessee, just constantly being a dominant force as an interior lineman in the NFL. Could fly around another big guy. His playing weight was like 340, 345 for the most part. But, boy, when we did that weigh-in in New England, oh, yeah, he tilted that scale at 370. I didn't say 70. I said 370. Yeah, he was big on it. Now, at the time, I ain't going to throw their weight out there and not throw mine. At the time, I was like 334. Coach Belichick was like, Marlon, yeah, we really want you to show up back here in New England after the lockout at about 334. Shouts out to Duke from the Duke Academy. Boy, we found out that morning that the lockout was off. Boy, me and Duke had to hurry up, knock that weight off me real quick at the show. I was knocking on 340 when I was down there. It was easy. It was at home. It was lockout. We didn't know it was going to go back, and we didn't know when we was going to go back. But, again, Albert Hainsworth, somebody dominated. At that time, we had like 21 D linemen, all big names out in New England at the time. And Albert is just someone, in terms of an interior lineman, he dominated the 3-tech, the shade. He played with Coach Walsh as well. Coach Walsh coached me at Philly, and he had Albert at Tennessee, and he dominated, man. So Albert Hainsworth, for sure, number 3 on my list. Number 2 on my list. Now, this guy was previously number 1. This was by far my favorite defensive tackle to watch. This guy I met twice, once at NFL Network. We had something for the Super Bowl, and I met him for the Saints. When we went to the Super Bowl with the Saints, he was one of the commentators as well there. I was putting out some technique on my Conquer page, and this person commented, was like, nah, champ, that's not how you do it, or something like that. I'm like, hey, bro, whatever you say, bro. You one of the best dudes I ever seen do that. Warren Sapp, baby, is outside of my big brother Mel wearing number 99 at John Eric. Here's the second reason I wore the number 99 Warren Sapp. I mean, just a dominant force in the NFL. Fast 40-yard dash, and at his prime, he had that fast 40-yard dash. We talk about that Miami team. Coach Ed Orgeron, Coach Big Sapp there as well. Sapp was one of those players. I had a chance, because of Coach Ed Orgeron, to watch a lot of film on him. This was back when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers mainly wore orange uniforms. Some of the tape I was watching when Ed Orgeron was there, but he was a sack master. I mean, defensive tackles don't usually get handed out these type of awards, but he won the Heisman Trophy. Like, he's a defensive tackle who won the Heisman Trophy out of Miami. If y'all remember, some of y'all that's around my age, y'all might remember this. My 30-year-old plus people. Right, y'all remember Trina video? Remember she smashed his Heisman Trophy to the ground and was just crashing everything? And one of her videos, yeah, that's Warren Sapp that was in there. He used to rock the braids, you know what I'm saying? Just a dominant force in terms of interior linemen. One of my favorite. I really want to call this 1A, 1B, but at the end of the day, I know we do have to hand this off to one person, and that one person I've talked about on this show way too many times. Aaron Donald. I mean, listen, I mean, Reggie White would be in this conversation, but Reggie White is technically a DN. And I'll do DNs with 5 with Fave another time. But I think when you look at just the pure speed, the build, the hands, the knowledge of the game, just knowing how to be aggressive and passive-aggressive at the same time, having that ability to go speed to power, power to speed, those double moves that we do is all a lot of times like basketball players, we hit the Euro step in terms of our pass rush. I mean, when you look at dominant defensive linemen, you can't look past Aaron Donald. So that's 5 with Fave, baby. I just wanted to give y'all my 5 top interior linemen. Be sure to go to New Orleans Talk Network on YouTube. We'll have these highlights up. You can watch the video version of this so you can see these guys. If y'all don't remember, some of y'all listening, y'all like, Fave, we already know what it is with those boys you mentioned, but that's my top 5 defensive interior linemen of all time. I look forward to doing more lists like this, maybe the top in the past 10 years. This year, upcoming, we're going to continue to have fun with that. Well, I had fun with y'all. It was a blessing to hang out with y'all today. Thank y'all so much for listening to Inside the Trenches podcast. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. And remember, y'all can check this show out Monday through Friday on ESPN New Orleans from 6 to 8. Feel free to call in on Monday nights. Shouts out to our sponsor, UPT. Y'all can call in 800-998-1003 between 6 and 8 on Monday and talk to us. Let us know what y'all feel. Shouts out to all of our sponsors who sponsor this show. Small Sliders. We want to thank Montero Motors. We want to thank Godwyn Realty. We want to thank Crown Car Wash for what they do for the show. Conquer Sports Pros for what they do with the show. And listen, if y'all want to add more information, y'all hit us up. Shouts out to my crew, Mike and Tarek, on the 1s and 2s here in the studio. And we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow. Hello, somebody. Y'all have a blessed one. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now, I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Well, hello, somebody. Come on. It's time to move our body. How y'all doing, man? If y'all just getting in y'all vehicle, y'all checking out the second hour of Inside the Trenches, live here on New Orleans Talk Network. That is ESPN New Orleans, the dial 100.3 FM. And I'm not going to stop saying this to y'all. Y'all check a brother out. Monday through Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. We will be right here waiting for you. I know who else is waiting for you. Godwyn Realty. If you're looking for a house, commercial, residential, you're looking to sell a house, you're looking to flip a house, y'all got to hit my boy Joel up at Godwyn Realty. That's Godwyn Realty. You can hit him up, Joel at GodwynRealty.com for the latest and greatest. Not only will Joel help you look for a property, they're going to give you all type of information as well. Hey, you should get in this area because of X, Y, and Z. You know what? Based on what you told me, we could find you a property in this part of the city because of X, Y, Z. So if you're looking to be close to a hospital, close to the grocery store, you don't want to travel miles away, let Godwyn Realty put you in the house of your dreams. Hello, somebody. So hit my man Joel up at Godwyn. I know some cats that's going to be living out their dreams at the end of the month. That's some formal, should we say now, because technically they are NFL prospects going pro. We're going to take a look at this mock draft that CBS Sports.com beat writer Ryan Wilson wrote. It's a 1-minute read if you go to his column to check it out. But in bold print, it says 2024 NFL mock draft, 5 quarterbacks taken in the top 15 as the NFC trades up and the Bills take a wide receiver after trading Stephon Diggs. If y'all didn't hear the news, Stephon Diggs had been traded to Houston. Houston's receiving core now has another weapon for C.J. Stroud, and I think that they are churning in the right direction. So shouts out to Coach Ryan and C.J. Stroud and my little brother Derek Stingley out there handling their business. And H-Town, hold up. You know what I'm saying? They out there by them Houston Roughnecks. Coach C.J. Johnson handling their business. Y'all like my Texas accent? I'm close. It sounds straight. I switch it up on them. You dig? So, in the first round, like everybody and their mother, he has Caleb Williams going number 1. The Bears traded Justin Fields to the Steelers and left it to Caleb Williams to be their next star quarterback. Caleb Williams is a quarterback. In my opinion, he is pro-ready. I still believe that he is not better than Jaden Daniels. I do think they're getting the second best quarterback in this year's draft, if you ask me about him. But the yards are there. He had 3,600 yards passing this year. He rushed for 121 yards. He was careful with the football as well, with 5 interceptions along with 41 touchdown passes. The thing about Caleb Williams is you got 2 years of it, right? He didn't disappoint this past season. He didn't outperform either, but he didn't disappoint this year for USC. He won the Heisman last year after the 2022 season. But in addition to that, he lost to Tulane in the bowl game. They still lost. So it's there. Now, at number 2, which Coach Dan Quinn gets the big steal with the Washington Commanders, they project that they're going to go with Jaden Daniels. Jaden in this year is the 6th ranked prospect according to them at their position. He's ranked number 3. I think that's a little bit off. That's just me. I mean, let's just let the numbers talk. Jaden did throw for over 3,800 yards. He also rushed for almost 1,200 yards. He was even more careful, right? He threw 4 interceptions, leaving it 50 touchdowns that he passed and scored on foot. And the column reads, I like Jaden Daniels more than Drake May, and I take him here. But Washington may feel differently. Whatever happens, they have to go ahead and take a quarterback. Washington does need a quarterback. They do need a guy that is elusive. So I'm going to go through some other picks. There's Drake May. They have him going to the Patriots at 3. The Patriots need a quarterback, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't discount right here Michael Penix Jr. Now, I'm not saying that Drake May doesn't have potential. I think when you look at Drake May as a quarterback, his redshirt sophomore, he just didn't show enough. He threw 9 interceptions. He threw 33 touchdowns. He had 3,600 yards, and he was under 500 yards rushing. Why is he ranked 2? And Jaden is now he has the big arm. He had a pretty decent pro day, but to me, I'm gonna stick to my guns. I still feel like to a certain extent he is Mitchell Trubisky 2.0, and it's not a knock against him. I just think in this elite class of quarterbacks, he should fall to the middle pack in regards to what he does. Now, the first wide receiver that they have coming off the board is Malik Neighbors to the Arizona Cardinals. Malik, 89 receptions, 1,500 yards. He scored 14 touchdowns. The best wide receiver in this draft. We can't say it enough here on Inside the Trenches. This kid, some kind of way. And if you put his picture next to Zach Wilson's, they darn near look the same, but that's just if you peep it out. J.J. McCarthy from Michigan. Now, he is the national champion, but we know their defense. I mean, let's let the numbers talk. 2,900 yards, 200 yards rushing. He didn't have to throw much, but he threw 4 interceptions when he did, and look at the numbers, 25 touchdowns. Now, before we mentioned Drake May, 33, Jaden Daniels, 50, Caleb Williams, 41. We have 25 from J.J. McCarthy. Yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr., New York, right? They have him going 6th in New York. Was number 1 ranked at his position, number 1 prospect according to a couple of boards, but he had 15 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. He says the best case scenario for the Giants to go ahead and roll with Marvin Harrison Jr. They're going to need a big playmaker. Some people have the Giants trading up for quarterback as well. Take me to another place. Take me to another land. Y'all know the song Tennessee? You know what I'm saying? By Arrested Development. Tennessee, they got Tennessee going with Joe Alt at the offensive lineman position. Definitely the second best ranked player in this draft. He's the best offensive lineman. This kid is pro ready. He is ready to roll them dice, baby. Atlanta going with Jared Verse. They need a definite pass rusher. They got their quarterback. They have their running back. They have weapons in their receiving and tight end core. That D-line is decent. You have some veterans up front. You could use an edge rusher to get their number 2 player at his position. We're going to go through a couple of these. We got Dallas Turner, Chicago, Rome Aduzio, Adumzo to the Jets. You got J.C. Latham, a guy we would like to see for the Saints. They got him going number 11 to the Chargers. Terrell Arnold, cornerback, first corner coming off the board at 12 pick to the Broncos. I think Coach Payton, and shouts out to my West Bank brother, Vance Joseph, who's the D coordinator there. Michael Penix Jr. to Vegas. Do y'all like that one? At 13. Now, what's interesting about that, now Joe's not here with me right now. Godwyn Realty Joe, yeah, he's my co-host as well here at Inside the Trenches. What got me with that is, look how far he fell on that. Now, that's right next to the Saints, right? Joe, you think they go court? Michael Penix Jr., generational. He's a generational talent. Michael Penix, I don't know. Now, we do know that the Saints for certainly needs an offensive lineman to specify OT, offensive tackle. Olu Fasanu, out of Penn State, 6'6", 317 pounds, coming out his junior year. So far, Fasanu is still on the board. Trevor Penning hasn't worked out at left tackle for the Saints. Fasanu is good, and it's too much to pass up on in the middle of the first round. I like it. I can't lie to you. I like it. If we get him, you got to get Derek Carr all the protection he can get. So I'm not mad at it at all. I'm going to go down to the first round, skip around. The Chargers has 2 picks in the first round. He said that the Chargers are going to go after Brian Thomas Jr. out of LSU, first rounder. That's about right for him. I do see him sneaking up. The Saints might take a look at him if he's still sitting there. According to CBS, he'll still be sitting there. That wouldn't surprise me. Now let's go to Dallas, baby. Jerry's World. You know, the Cowboys pick at 24. And I think they're going to go to Marius Means, baby. Right on out of Georgia. Yeah, the state of Georgia, where they go and do their thing. You know, I'm talking about the boy representing out in Georgia. You know, they're going to go and go with him. My Texas accent all right? 6'7", 340 pounds. Memes is massive. He's athletic. He has all the tools that you look for in an offensive lineman. I think it's a good deal for them. I think they should roll with. They need it. You lose to Ryan Smith, you're going to need somebody to fill in. So that's just a little sneak peek. I want to check that article out. Excellent job by CBS sports writer Ryan Wilson. I thought he did an excellent job on that article. Hey, y'all don't go anywhere. We're going to stick around with NFL a little bit longer. We're going to look at some of these elite wide receivers classes. And then I think it's time for 5 with Fave. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches. Streaming live on New Orleans Talk Network on ESPN. Hello, somebody. Go ahead and move your body.
He has the heart of a champion.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches Podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite Wright. Watch out there now. See, we like to mix it up on the show, baby. We like to take like cruising music, might get hot. Come on. Yeah. Smooth. You gotta love it. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite Wright, and we're having ourselves a great time on this Wednesday evening. If you're tuning in and you're on your way to the Pels game or you're already in the building just listening to me on the ESPN deal, I appreciate you for tuning in. I will try to be as entertaining as possible, getting y'all beautiful folks home. CBS Sports been on one with me today. I ain't gonna front at all. On this one here, it is which class is the best wide receiving class in the last 30 years. Yeah, that's what they put on their Instagram. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to talk about this one because what I like, some of these guys are from Louisiana, and what I appreciate is the amount of talent that we have here. And if you've been tuning in to our show, you would know that I talk about guys from the city and the state a lot. So I find this very interesting because out of all the positions, wide receiver typically is the one that folks talk about a lot because, for one, they score all the big touchdowns. For two, these guys are pretty fast. And for three, if you're a wide receiver, you're probably the most athletic guy on your team or the group of guys on the team. So we're going to look at these elite classes here in the last 30 years. And I want to hear from you guys because some of this could be factual, some could be subjective. So it just really depends on your style of player that you like. Some people like the big Megatron type receivers. Some guys like the shorter guys that's fast. So you got your Tyreek Hills of the world. So we're going to look at these classes and I'll give my opinion. Class of 2021, Jamar Chase, Amari St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, Nico Collins. That's a big-time class. I can't front. That's an elite group of newer guys. Jamar Chase has been one of the best receivers in our league. St. Brown just went to the playoffs last year with Detroit. Jalen Waddle, we talk about that speed, right? Route running, Devontae Smith, come on now. And then Nico Collins, we know he was the main wide receiver this past year for C.J. Stroud. The 2020 class. Justin Jefferson, come on now, St. Rose. They don't play around over there in St. Rose, you dig? Another Louisiana cat, C.D. Lamb. A lot of people didn't know C.D. Lamb was from Louisiana. I ain't gonna front. I didn't know till last year. I didn't know C.D. Lamb was from here till last year. Can't even front of the table. Brandon Aiko, he was in that class. T. Higgins, Michael Pittman, Jared Judy, Gabe Davis. Now that's a pretty elite class. And we were talking about the 2020 class earlier this show with the girls, right? You had like Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Those ladies were in the same class, right? That was pretty dope. So this 2020 class is making a fight for the 2021 class. Now check this out. 2014. Check the eliteness out in this class. In 2014, you had Mike Evans, been a dog for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers over the years. Like Mike has averaged plus 10 touchdowns by midseason, over 10 catches per game. I mean, he's put the numbers up. Devontae Adams, before he followed Derek Carr and basically crushed his stats, I mean, not in a good way. Out there, going to play with his old teammate in Oakland. Wasn't the best move. Boy, to stayed over there with Love and Aaron Rodgers, but that's another story. He went to Oakland, and I mean, he legit was 99 on the game. Like, Devontae Adams was the best wide receiver in the NFL 2 seasons ago, and then he got into Derek Carr's offense, and but Derek's going to be much better this year. Brandon Cooks was in that class. Remember, the Saints drafted him that year as well. Stretch back like 1-3, like 1-3. Odell Beckham was in that class. Yeah, I remember that Drake verse. Odell Beckham was in that class as well. Jarvis Landry and Allen Robinson. So they make a argument too. So far, out of the groups that I named, I would probably go 2020, 2014, and 2021. Right? If I'm putting it in order right now. And y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all can tweet me at BigFave504 or X me, should I say. Follow me on X at BigFave504. Let me know your thoughts. Do you feel like out of the class, do I have the order right so far? I put 2020, 2014, and then 2021. Now, the next class that they mentioned was the class of 2010. Elite, Antonio Brown, Demaryius Thomas, Emmanuel Sanders, Golden Tate, Dez Bryant, and Eric Decker. When you look at Dez Bryant and Dez Bryant and Antonio Brown, these guys, like Odell, like Jamar now, and Justin Jefferson, these guys were elite. I mean, when Antonio Brown first got to the Steelers, they had Mike Wallace. And remember, after a few years, Mike signed a big contract with Miami when he left Pittsburgh. But this class, Antonio Brown, like before he went Antonio Brown, he was off the chain, one of the top receivers in our league. We know how dominant Dez was. We watched Golden Tate, the late, great Demaryius Thomas, did so many great things for Denver. And then we had a chance to see Emmanuel Sanders here as well in New Orleans be clutch for Drew Brees in that offense. So that 2010 class, I played with a lot of these guys. We came in the league around the same time. I came in 2009. Me and Dez trained at the Duke Academy by Coach Duke in the offseason, so I'm very familiar. Like, Dez did all his pre-draft stuff here. So this class was elite too. I don't think this class is better than the next class that I'm going to mention and the one before. I would put that 2010 class probably somewhere around that, like probably right in front of that 2021 class. Or behind the 2022 class. Now, this next class I'm about to mention, I think they jump them all. The class of 2001. 2001, Steve Smith. We got Steve Smith out of Utah, balled out. He was a third round. He was mad. Man, I was mad when the Carolina Panthers, he told me this my rookie year. I was mad at the Carolina Panthers when they drafted me in the third round. I said I'm going to be the best receiver out in the NFL. And he was consistently one of the top receivers. Another West Banker. Boy, we just West Banking in the Louisiana area and it out, ain't we? You had Reggie Wayne in that out of John Eric, played in Miami. Wayne was in that class too. Matter of fact, I want to add this on. I'm going to add Weez on this one and say, hey, Wayne, what you think about this one? Yeah, man, with the top class, with the real ones. You had Ocho Cinco in that class, Santana Moss, Chris Chambers. I remember Chris was catching the ball like that for San Diego. He was in all the highlight videos. And another one of my teammates played with me in Seattle. He played with my brother, Skylar Green, out in Cincinnati as well. TJ Hooms-Mazada. That class was elite. 1996, you had Terrell Owens, Marvin Harrison, Musa Muhammad. You know, Coach Saban spoke highly about Moose and his time at Michigan State. That's that classic story that Coach Saban always tell about the kid that was trying to get kicked off the team. And now he's had a successful NFL career. Kids are doing exceptionally well. Yeah, shouts out to Coach Saban for that one. That was big time. You had Keyshawn Johnson in that class, Eric Molds, you had Mari Toomer, you had Terry Glenn, and you had Joe Horn. 96 was representing, boy. That was an elite class too. So y'all, let's rate those classes. Tell me what y'all think. I do believe that before y'all put y'all grades out there, y'all don't think current. Like if you need to go back and watch some film on these guys now, right now I know, and I would like to say it to you, think Jamar Chase. Oh yeah, definitely. Jalen Wilder, Justin Jefferson, he's balling out of control. Man, I don't know, man. Look, boy, before y'all make y'all answer, I would definitely go back and I would look at the class of 2020. About to say 2021, that is big time class. I'm talking 20 years later, or 20 years before, should I say, that 2001 class with Steve Schmidt and Reggie Wayne. That class was elite. So I'm going to try my hardest right now. Okay, and I might mix this up a bit, so y'all just bear with me. I would say 2001, I would put that class up there. Then I would go 2001, and then after that 2001 class, I mean, you got to go probably 2014. Then I would go 2020. I would go 2020. So I got that. And Mike, hope you're keeping score. I would go 2010. Then I would go 1996. Like that 96 class, I would go right after that 2020 class. Then I would go 2010 and then 2021. So y'all let me know y'all order. Guys, will be sure to put this out on the page. We want to thank Conquer Sports Pros for sponsoring this segment. Y'all can check Conquer Sports Pros out on Instagram or Twitter. Matter of fact, it's probably best to go on X at Conquer Sport. DM us. We have lineman specialists, both offensive line and defensive line work. We specify the position drills. And in addition to that, we also have softball, youth softball as well, so you can sign up for some of those camps and clinics as well. That's 600 St. Joseph Street, Harvey, Louisiana, or you can hit us up on X at Conquer Sports. Y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to talk a little bit of Favorite 5, baby. I'm going to take a look at some of the top linemen, interior linemen. Don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches on ESPN New Orleans.
That's why I pray every day. Went from ball to broadcasting. Now I play the game.